My name is Bob Bruce from Croton-on-Hudson, New York. I'd like to show you my 1951 Chevy sedan delivery. Did probably 90% of the work myself. The other 10% was at my friend's shop. We all build cars together. Modified probably every panel on it subtly. My friend painted it this crazy pearl. I don't know if in the camera you can see it changes from green to gold flake. I'll show you the engine compartment. All hand done, hand fabricated by me and my boys. So about the intakes, cars with no air conditioning, or none of cars had air conditioning back in the day, there would have been those large tubes running in through the firewall or around the side of the firewall really. That would have been your fresh air venting. So those two collars were in the radiator support down low, and that gave me the thought of making a dual-sided fresh air intake from in front of the radiator for cold air. So I took a 59 replica air cleaner and two 4-inch 45s and four 4-inch 90s and segmented them all together. Couple rubber couplers, and I've got fresh air intake. That's down below that is fuel air spark technology, fuel injection, Blueprint engines, 383 stroker, 440 horse. Jet coated exhaust, March pulley system.
How long did it take you to rebuild?
Including interior was 4 years. What would have been here would have been similar to the front bumper, just a roundish bumper. Would have had inlaid pockets that it recessed into the quarter panel. So I pulled all that out. I made a new panel here and made a new panel down here and dropped it all the way down so it hides the tail end of the frame rails. And then flush mounted tail lights. The bottom side looks like the top side. If I could show you that, I would. Everything's painted, plated, chromed, and loved. So now that's that grill. The 1951 Chevy would have had no teeth on the center bar. 52 would have had 5. I bought probably about 4 sets of them on eBay, threw out all the crappy ones, kept the better of them, and there are 5 different teeth there. There's a center, there's an inside right, an inside left, outside right, outside left. And, put 11. It's good to bring it back from the dead kind of thing, Make it your own way.
There you go. How long you been coming to the show?
About 6 years, 7 years.
What do you like about it?
On a beautiful summer night, you get something to eat, something to drink, check out some cool cars, hang out with some cool people. It's what we work for. Thanks for the show.
My name's Eric Reedy. I live right across the river over here, right outside Peekskill. And I've been coming to Bear Mountain, brought the car up here 2 times last year, and this is the first time I've actually made it here this year. My baby is a 1973 Monte Carlo. It's got the Chevy 350 with a TH350 tranny. When I found the car, when I bought it, it had 23,000 original miles on it. The fella I got it from actually shaved the door handles, did some nice custom work, de-badged, de-chromed it. He put a cam carb intake. It's got a nice Lopi cam. Sounds great. Straight pipes back with reverse glass packs. Interior is all original, black on black on black. Filled in the quarter windows with a custom Landau top. And when I found the car, I knew I wanted a nice set of black rims on it. I wanted something vintage, something clean, so I started looking for a nice set of old Traeger SS's. And knowing what I wanted to do, I just kept looking and looking. I actually found these rims half buried in the mud behind somebody's shed. I paid 60 bucks for 6 Traeger SS's. Media blasted them, had them powder coated black. Just put a nice set of new Mickey Thompson STs on here. Found the car, crazy story. I found the car actually in the back of one of those like $1, like $1.99 Auto Trader magazines I picked up at a gas station. It was
Digest?
It was like old car. It was like old car trader, I think. And I paid like $1.99 for the magazine. I took it home. I started flipping through the magazine, and all the way in the back, a faded black and white picture of a picture the guy had like sent into the magazine. The car was listed for an absurdly low price. And I was the only person who ever called him because he didn't, he and I talked about this. We actually think that everybody thought it was a hoax. I was the only guy who ever called him. And he actually held on to the car for me for 8 months while I saved up my pennies because I was right out of college. I had like no money when I first called him. No money, literally. Called that guy up, had the money, drove up to Pittsburgh, picked up the car, drove it home, and the car, aside from the cosmetics in the engine, was very original. It had the original shocks on the car when I got it. So that was definitely the first upgrade I did to the car. I mean, she's a beautiful cruiser.
Hi, I'm Dave Fusiak. I live on Mountain Drive, which is right across the river from here. Been coming to Bear Mountain since I've been a little kid. This is my 1944 Willys MB, repatriated from France in 1949 or 1950. The last owner was Mr. Kerwin of Kerwin Chrysler Jeep, and he imported the Jeep back in the 40s, started the craze on popular mechanics. Willys approached him. He became the very first Jeep dealership in the United States, I believe in 1950 or 51. This was his Jeep, which came out of France. Well, this would be a convoy lead because of all the armament. And the thing that gives it away is actually this bar. And what would happen is, being convoy, the windshield would be laying down on the hood. That's what these blocks are for. And that allows the .30 caliber gun to be swung 360 degrees. But the problem with the windshield being down, the enemy, the Germans or whoever, like to put piano wire across the road, especially at night. So this bar would hook that wire before it cuts your head off. So you would be lead with the 30. The 50, they also had, you probably wouldn't see both guns, but if it was available, I'm sure somebody put it on. The big gun is a 50 caliber with 9-yard belts, and that's where the term 9 yards came from. If you shot a whole belt, you did the whole 9 yards. It has RPGs. It has really pretty much of everything. It has a water bucket, desert overflow, if you want to come back. It has a Thompson 45 submachine gun, the 1911 Browning 45, which is just world renowned and made today. All the armament, all the grenades, RPG, and a little bit of spirit if you need it to raise your spirits to make the enemy get a little bit smaller. And after the interview, we'll have a little bit of that. Oh, the trailer is made for the Jeep. It's a 1/4-ton trailer. They're waterproof. There's no tailgate. And this trailer, when you go across the river or lake or anything, the trailer is meant to float. So you don't have to worry about it sinking. And And that's why it has no tailgate. Everything is waterproof on the trailer. You would put anything in here, from bombs to clothes to food to any booty that you could take. I guess that's part of war. What do they call it? The spoils of war could perhaps be in there, but right now it's just empty. It has a tarp in case it rains. And I guess that's about it. I don't know. It's got some gas cans, RPGs, a camouflage to put on the Jeep, actually first aid kits. And if you got shot up, you would just take this out, open her up, and then this is the real deal. If we could just get this, and here you go. And the instructions.
Oh my gosh, check that out.
Yep. And hopefully you wouldn't have to use that because your best buddy probably would have taken a bullet for you. And it's got the siren here. Mail call. Of course, fire extinguisher. And the other one, these are correct. These are decontamination in case of a gas attack. You spray each other off with that. And then you die of cancer 5 years later. Yeah, that's all hand painted. That's not a decal. That's all original artwork that Pinstriper did for me. Blackout lights. And those headlights actually flip up like this, and they shine on the engine. You could flip them up. As you just undo this, like this. And then this wire should be a little bit longer, but they flip all the way back, and then you can shine it on the light at night. And just that I put the wrong wire on, it needs to be a little bit longer. And then it has grease gun. This is all original. This is not reproduction stuff. It's all stuff that was on the Jeep. I put the words on it and repainted this, but that was all original. There's no oil here. This is a gas can, and that is obviously blood. There's no oil behind the firewall. It's a bad day. Many of the military shows that I've been to, there are a lot of vets that we volunteer for, especially the disabled American veterans. They ride with us, and we're trying to preserve the World War II guys who are basically in their 90s, and we're losing them left and right. In another 3 to 5 years, there'll be no more vets to sign the Jeep. But we have Battle of the Bulge, we have Okinawa, we have 3 Congressional Medal of Honor winners that are on the Jeep, many Purple Hearts and Bronze Stars, and it's just an honor to try to preserve that for future generations. And then this is 4 Bronze Stars. This just showed up. 90% of these people don't even talk to me. They just come back and they're there. Medal of Honor. Battle of the Bulge. French Medal of Honor. Bronze Stars, Purple Hearts. And then this guy, McMalley. This is McMalley. That's his commendation. And that's on the internet. You can read that.
It's unbelievable what you got here.
Well, people don't realize it. And then this is Livingston. This is this guy. That's it. And there's another Medal of Honor guy I'm going to try to get. He's local. Now, what this guy told me, you can go on the internet now and you can Google this. These are the Forgotten Soldiers, 1952. It's 10.2 nuclear megaton test. And they told this guy, when that blast goes off, he was on a ship. Close your eyes. And he didn't close his eyes. And he was in a back row. He said when the blast went off, he could see the skeletons in the people in front of him. It was his X-ray. And all these guys were test guys. They're all coming down with cancer. This is in the 50s. So now there's a thing to say, like the Memorial 911 guys dying. There's a push to say these guys that were exposed to gamma rays and radiation, and they're all dying, and the military just is not our fault. And he's saying to me, I'm looking at the bones in their bodies when that thing flashed. They were so close. you know? And then he signed this. The soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. Come on, makes me want to cry, you know?